of breath.
And I'm out of breath because I had to run all the way from the studio.
You know, take a look at where the studio is. Let's just point the camera over there and just kind of show how far. That's about a, well, probably an eighth of a mile there. She's okay, and I'll...
But look at what I had to deal with. Let's
I know.
Come down
Here it is. Folks, I've always said my next book and my last book will be Stilettos in the Garden. There it is. Great gardening tool, actually. You know, I use those implements all the time. Usually I make you little girls go out there and start walking on my grass for core aeration.
That's just cruel.
I was talking about letting you do that, but you know what? We got lots to cover, so we won't do that today.
Thank you very much. What do you have for us today?
You know what we're going to do is we're going to talk a little bit about some damage that's going on in the garden. I've gotten a lot of emails on this, folks, and this is happening to a lot of your cabbages and maybe your kales, and of course some of your bok choy and some of the other plants. Right over here, Yetta, pick up that leaf right there with all the holes in it. Right there, yeah.
Oh, that's no good.
There it is. Looper or lopper damage, you know, you can call them either one. And what happens is those are little caterpillars, and these little caterpillars have a tendency to crawl up from underneath the soil and then eventually start gnawing away on our leaf surfaces. So what you want to use something fairly natural. This is called Thuricide. There it is right there. You can see the spelling on it, folks, so I don't have to spell
Thuricide.
it 200 times on different emails I get, and it works out fantastic. You go ahead and spray it. Now, it is natural, like our whole garden. In fact, take a look at our garden right now. You can see how beautiful our garden looks right now. Coming up just fine. And we organically garden out here. And the ideal situation is to start using those liquid seaweeds or extreme juices or anything like that, foliar feed, and of course, regular fertilization on that ryegrass is real important right now. Take a look at our ryegrass lawn here. You can take a look and see how good it's doing. Thriving right now, folks. You got to stay on top.
You do a great job out here.
Well, thank you. Did you know this is on top of a parking lot?
I did know that.
Yeah, it's a fantastic little garden.
You mean the parking lot that I just ran through?
That's right. We just went in and built it right on top of the parking lot. So we added a lot of compost to the soil and then built it up. But something else we're doing right now is we're getting ready for, believe it or not, springtime.
Yes.
And what you want to do is you want to start thinking about, well, taking little containers and planting your different cucumbers, your tomatoes or peppers, or for that matter, even your eggplants, which are very hardy out here in the desert Southwest. You can get yourself a little windowsill greenhouse like this, and they have little peat pots in them, and you just go ahead and grow them. You can see them. You can pick them up at most of the home centers here in town. Then once they get, well, 1 to 2 inches tall, then you want to transplant them into a little bit larger container. Something about this size is the ideal situation. And of course, you want them on a sunny windowsill. And what you want to do with that is just go ahead and transplant it about the end of February. If you don't want to go through all that work, that's the time we start planting a lot of our eggplants, peppers, and tomatoes. It's a very good idea to start thinking about doing that, and especially getting ready to do that right now.
What's in your garden? You
know what? What's in our garden? Let me show you. We've got a lot of things going on. One of them, parsley, is going on right now. All our shaded areas, cyclamen is going on right now. Cyclamen is one of the few flowers that actually bloom in the fall in almost pure shade. We're getting our poinsettias out right now, and this is something that's very important.
That's one of my favorites.
Oh, they are beautiful. Now, they will last all year round. I've had my mom actually get them to last, but a couple things you need to keep in mind. When you receive these guys, and they do very well out here, and they were on sale this weekend actually, and something like this was like 99 cents or something. I couldn't believe the cost, but make sure that you remove the foil wrapper and you let this guy drain. It's very important to let it drain. Should be dry to the touch before you water. Keep it away from any types of drafts, and a fairly sunny windowsill. It likes consistent temperatures. Anywhere from 60 to 70 degrees is ideal. And so you can move them around a little bit, but like I said, you want to make sure you keep them away from any type of, well, any type of draft. That's
you know
the
what? My
situation.
dad keeps that on there.
You know what? You want to make sure you take this off, because if that water doesn't drain under here, it's just like putting your foot inside of a wet boot and leaving it there for a long period of time. It's really tough on it. Now, something else we're planting out here, we're getting ready for our cooler season type color. And one of the things you might want to plant is some of your violas or pansies right now. This is an ideal situation. And if you're thinking, well, you're thinking something that might hold up in the garden areas right now, you might want to try some of your lettuce and carrots and any of your broccolis and cabbages like we talked about earlier. Those are very cold tolerant, if not frost tolerant. And for those of you, well, you're picking up your different amaryllis bulbs right now. Here's one right now getting ready to sprout. Now, these are something you should not throw away in the garden. In fact, let me go over here. I want to just show you one that's been in the garden for a long time underneath our sisal. Hopefully we can manage this. I didn't rehearse this, but right over here, you can see them growing up right here. We just put them throughout the garden, and they do fantastic out here in the garden in a shaded area. In fact, just go ahead and point up to our sisal tree right here. You can see it right now, and it does fantastic in shading our garden. So we're able to create these shade gardens because, in fact, we need consistent type of sun when we're actually out here in the garden on television.
All right, we've got all the information up right now, and I want to come back out live because I've never done a segment with you. I've never been able to tell you how hot I think you look.
Oh, well, thank you very much. That's a lot younger picture, young lady.